release this. And if anybody joins late, you can join in. Go back to the couple minutes. You put it on the slide check. She knows what she's doing. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. So today, talking about profit share and growth share. And we'll get into breaking down what that is here in a minute. But what I wanted to accomplish today was start out with explaining profit share and making sure you knew what profit share is and how it works so that you understand best how you can take advantage of it. And the first thing I want to do is actually take you and show you a short video. I've got to get to it. All right, when you copy that URL and open that up and go back. You're gonna have to get out of escape. Now you can copy it. And this is just a quick video that breaks down how profit share works.
When deals close, agents who haven't capped pay company dollar to the market center. The market center uses that money to pay its bills. What's left over is profit. Every real estate business is in business for profit, and usually the owners keep all of that profit. This practice makes sense. Owners invest in businesses with the hope of seeing a return. At Keller Williams Realty, we do things a little differently. We believe in growing the business together. So we split the profit between the owners who took the risk and the associates who have helped grow the market center. Roughly 52% goes to the owners who took the risk, and roughly 48% goes to the associates who helped grow the market center. So how is it dispersed? We figure out what percentage of the market center's profit is a result of that associate, and we take that percentage of the profit share pool and disperse it through the branches of that associate's profit share tree on a monthly basis. The associate sponsor gets half, the associate sponsor's sponsor gets 10%, and so on until all of it is dispersed through 7 levels of sponsorship. At Keller Williams Realty, we believe the profit will grow exponentially when everybody has the opportunity to share in it. We believe in finding the win-win and in doing the right thing, because together, everyone will achieve more. When deals...
All right, and guys, I'm a huge believer in that. Profit share changes the way businesses function. And you look at some of the most successful businesses there are, they are companies that profit share. Southwest Airlines and Quick Trip are 2 really good examples of that. And that's probably one of the best airline experiences you have and one of the best gas station experiences you have. Well, here at Keller Williams, profit share changes the way we act and we think. So me as an agent here in the market center, participating in profit share, I have a vested interest in every agent and how well they do. The better the agents here do, the more profit we make, the better my profit share checks wind up being. So that's going to be true for every agent through the market center. That's one of the reasons you'll find that agents are so open to sharing their secret sauce. They'll show you their listing presentation. They'll let you ride out with them on a listing appointment. Because we're all in this together. Where's my little button? So we went through the slide, and I'm going to break down an example and show you guys how the math works so you really understand what the potential is for this. But this is something that you'll see over and over again, is how this is broken down. Now, one of the things that I didn't go over in the video, you will sometimes hear profit share referred to as your 401kW instead of your 401k. Because in real estate, historically, it's always been said that when you sell your last house, you make your last dollar in real estate. Well, profit share changes that. This can become your retirement plan. This can become the way that you continue to make money from the time that you spent here, long after you've decided you wanted to hang up your shingle. Great example of that is two of the agents here in our office, Kevin Cayley and Lynn Cayley. They've been with Keller Williams for 20 years now, and they have introduced a lot of people to Keller Williams over their years. And at this point, last month, Kevin Cayley just became the 100th agent in Keller Williams to have received $1 million in profit share lifetime. Okay, and that's right here in this office. And Lynn, his wife, is probably about 3 years away from hitting that same benchmark. So now with profit share, you have to have been here for 7 years to be vested. Okay, obviously they've been here over 7 years. So they're going to continue to receive profit share for the rest of their life. And when they finally die, they will be able to will that to their children. So that's what we mean by this is your 401kW. And retirement between the two of them, they're going to get between $15,000 and $20,000 a month in profit share, even after they've decided they don't want to sell houses anymore. So that's how you can change not only your trajectory and your retirement, you can change it for your whole family. So let's go ahead and go through that math so you guys understand how does this work and how real is it, okay? So I want to take our office as an example. As we look back at last year, okay? Now profit share is calculated on a monthly basis. I'm just using the yearly numbers, and you'll understand why in just a second. So, but last year, our office had a total of $1.6 million in company dollar. That's that 30% that we take from agents that haven't capped yet, okay? Are we all clear on that? Okay, so when you give that 30%, that's the money that comes to the office. We then pay our bills with that. We pay our staff with that. We pay our expenses to that. And then whatever's left over is profit. And right at 48% goes into our profit share pool. So $401,526 went into the profit share pool from last year. So our office gave back to the agents $400,000 in profit. Now, if I were to invite someone into Keller Williams and they decided to join Keller Williams and they were a capper last year, okay? And again, this is averaged out over the whole year. Some years, some months profit may have been better or been worse, but looking at it as a whole year, if they capped, how much did they contribute to the company dollar? What's our cap level? So, but when they're making their sales to get up to cap,
18. Well,
18 includes royalty, so it's 15,000. That 30% all the way up to 15,000. This does not include the royalty, which is the 18. So that capper contributed $15,000 to the $1.6 million that we took in total. Okay, hopefully everybody's following the math so far. Well, when we divide that 15,000 into the company dollar, and then we multiply that, that gives us what percentage came from them, okay, of our company dollar. And then we multiply that percentage times the profit share, what you'll find is that capper giving us $15,000, put $3,594 into the profit share pool last year. Okay, again, that's averaged out over the whole year. Okay, so at some point during the year, because we don't know, did they have a closing in the first month, the third month, the sixth month? But for last year, if I was the sponsor for that capper and I was right above them, I'm their level one, I would have gotten $1,797 in profit share. And my sponsor, so 2 levels up, they would have gotten $359, and their sponsor would have gotten $179. And if you add up all of those different levels, that adds up to $35.94. Now, I want you to imagine for a minute, I bring somebody into Keller Williams, introduce them, they decide to join, and they become a capper, okay? They're experiencing some level of success. What do you think the probability is that they're gonna stay? It's pretty good, right? Okay, so the thing I want you to take away from this is I'm not just gonna get that $1,797 this year. I'm gonna get something close to that next year and the year after and the year after. Every year that they're with Keller Williams and they cap, I'm gonna get that amount, okay? If I brought somebody in that was only a half capper, okay, they would have only added about $1,700 to the profit share, and that would have gotten divided up. So profit share is not just paid when someone caps. It's just once they cap, they're no longer contributing to the office, to the company dollars, so there's no additional profit for us to generate. We're not making any money serving them. Does that make sense?
So $1,797 is your max, basically,
Well,
for the
and-
year off of a capper.
Well, and that depends. How profitable is the office? The more profitable the office is, that number could be higher. Okay? What percentage of the 15,000 into the company dollar? What's that percentage? And then what's the profit share? So, take a market center that is staff heavy, they're not going to be as profitable, so they may not get that much. Take a market center that has lots of relationships like we do with O'Kelly and Sorhan and Supreme Lending, and has other revenue streams that help add to our profit, then that number would be higher, okay? So I want you to understand, it's not a fixed $1,797. One year it might be $2,000 you make from a capper. Another year it might be $1,500 that you make from a capper. As the market ebbs and flows, as you add staff and take staff away, as you take on new expenses or take on new revenue sources, that can fluctuate. I just wanted to use this as an example, okay? So that's a great question though. But if I were to build a model, if I were trying to forecast what might my profit share look like, well, I might want to use that number because that's a real number from last year, that for every capper I bring in, I'm going to make about $1,800 a year. Okay? And that doesn't include what if they then invite somebody in and that person invites them in. When it goes to that second level, third level,
So then
and starts going deeper, then I'm getting my first level from my capper, and I'm getting 5% from the people they brought in, or 10% from the people they brought in, 5% from the ones they brought in. It grows over time. So, but we're just looking at what I can control, okay? Who I bring in personally, okay? That makes sense? All right, good. So here's the bonus. This is where this can be even more impactful. So I brought a capper on, and I made $1,797 last year because they had $15,000 in company dollar they contributed last year. Well, if they were already a capper before they joined, meaning that they were a licensed agent someplace else, and they were doing $2 million or more in sales volume, well, we want to reward you for bringing on an agent that's already established and already making money, that is almost assuredly going to be a capper for us. So as a reward for you doing that, we're going to reduce your cap for this year by $3,750. Okay, so instead of $15,000, you bring one capper on, it's going to be $11,250. You bring two cappers on, we drop your cap to $7,500. So you get to put that much more money in your pocket, plus the $1,797 that you made. okay? So does introducing somebody to Keller Williams and having them come and join us, is that real money? Is $5,000 for making an introduction worthwhile? I think so, okay? So, and then your cap will reset the following year. But the idea is we're going to continue to talk to people. And we're going to continue to build relationships, and we're going to continue to invite people to Keller Williams. Okay. So, and once you know, this isn't limited to just profit share. There's also a term that you'll hear called growth share. Okay. One of the really cool things about profit share is it doesn't have to be our office. Okay. I have in my profit share tree, I have Keller Williams agents in 3 different market centers. Okay. So I knew somebody that was looking to get into real estate. They lived in a different area. So what did I do? I introduced them to the local team leader, okay, and helped get them connected and get that conversation started. And when they joined, they named me as their sponsor, okay? Now, when their market center is profitable and their agent, my sponsee, what she called it, the person I sponsored has sales, I get profit share, okay? Now, that's only though in the US and Canada, okay? But is Keller Williams bigger than that? Yes, we are, okay? Growth share is all of our other territories. It works very much the same way, but it is a little bit different. That is more of a revenue share model. Less familiar with the math on it, but they do business so different in other parts of the world. We weren't able to stick to the profit share model, okay? But there's great opportunities. We have agents here locally. Mignon Hooper, she was one of the original agents that got us started. I think it was in Venezuela. Okay, so most of the agents that end up joining Keller Williams in Venezuela are likely to wind up somewhere in Mignon's growth share line. Okay, so if you have connections someplace else in the world, you know somebody, even if Keller Williams is not there yet, get with me, get with Stacy, and let me get you connected with Keller Williams International about how do we maybe get a Keller Williams started there. If you know somebody that has influence, has experience, knows real estate in that area, we can certainly launch a Keller Williams out there, and you may be the person that's at the head of the growth share for that community. That's one of the things that happened with Althea Osborne, who is one of our top 3 earners. She had connections in Africa, and because of those connections, she's now over everybody in Africa. So she gets growth share from almost every single agent in Africa as a result of that. So some really cool opportunities there. All right. So you understand the difference between profit share and growth share. All right, good stuff. All right, so you take it wide, time will take it deep. And what we mean by that is you go to build your profit share tree, okay? There's my tree, started, it's growing up, okay? I want to start putting branches on it. Now, what I can't control is does the person I bring on, do they go out and recruit anybody, okay? That's going to happen over time. For me to recruit somebody, who then recruits somebody, who then recruits somebody, who then recruits somebody, how long does that take?
Years.
It's gonna take years, okay? And that's one of the really powerful things about Keller Williams' model is if you go back and you look at those numbers, we start at 50%, drop to 10, drop to 5, but then it starts going back up. We go up to 7.5, we go to 10, and we go to 12. Because when you look at a tree, are there more branches coming off of the trunk, or are there more leaves?
Leaves.
More leaves, that's exactly right. So the way we set that model up is we wanted that percentage to go up when you got out to those 6th and 7th levels. So, because that's where you're gonna have the most number of people eventually, okay? and you can really take great rewards. Kevin, that I talked about, Kevin Cayley, most of the money he makes in profit share is in his 6th and 7th level. Okay, he only has about 30 people in his first line. Okay, that he brought on, that named him as a sponsor. But who he brought on several people, and they brought on several people, and they brought on some people. So while he's brought on 30 or 40, he has 600, 700 people in his profit share tree now that he's getting money from. Okay, so that's what I mean by you take it wide. Get as many branches as you can, get as many people in your first line, and then with time, they're going to recruit people who are going to recruit people who are going to recruit people. And the wider you take it, the more opportunity you have, the better likelihood you have that you're going to recruit a rock star. You're going to recruit somebody that becomes a team leader, somebody that's going to build a massive team and have lots of agents coming in and working for them. Okay, that's where you really see massive success. Okay, and do we ever know who that person's going to be? No. You know, we see people come in that we think have great aptitude, we think they've got good work ethic, we think that this is important to them, and we just find it's not a good fit for them, and they decide to take another career path. And then I see others come in that we look at and we're like, gosh, I bet they'll be out of the business in a year. And they're bulldogs. They just don't give up. And they go after it, go after it, go after it. They end up building really nice, really healthy businesses because of their tenacity. So it's hard to predict. So we can't just go out and recruit one person and expect them to be the one that's going to build our tree. We need to go out and recruit 10. We need to go out and recruit 20, okay, and possibly more. And that's how we're going to grow a really big profit share tree, okay? So what does recruiting someone look like? And I really hate that word recruiting because that's not what we want you doing. I don't want you thinking of yourself as a recruiter. I don't want you being a recruiter. I don't feel you feeling compelled that you have to recruit. This is no recruiting requirement. Okay, we just want you to make warm introductions. This is a relationship business, just like the sales that you do, okay? But it's a little different relationship. Who is it that we want to build relationships with? Well, it's other real estate agents and people that are thinking about real estate as a career. So we built a relationship with them, and we're there to answer questions and to introduce them to people that can help them, okay? And in our case, who's the best person or persons to talk to someone about coming and joining Keller Williams? You know, well, that's what Stacy and Stuart and I train on a regular basis. That we have the experience, we have the scripts, we've handled the questions before. We know the Keller Williams value proposition inside and out. So all we want you to do is make the connection. And we'll do the heavy lifting. We'll do the hard work to try and build your profit share tree for you, okay? We want you to succeed this way because we succeed this way. The bigger our office gets, the more market share that we take, the more profitable we are. We all win doing that, okay? And you win by growing your profit share tree. So we can collaborate on this and make that happen. So what does that warm introduction look like? Okay, and where do we find these people? So let's break this up both into licensed real estate agents and unlicensed real estate agents. Okay, well, with our licensed real estate agents, one of the first things I want you to think back on is who did you go to pre-licensing with? Okay, if you went and sat in a classroom, or if you were in a Zoom, or you were in a study group, those are great people for you to potentially make the introduction. You know, do you think that there's a chance that there were agents that were with you that chose a broker that's not a good fit for them, and they're maybe out there floundering? They don't have the support and the training that you're getting here at Keller Williams. You've got a great reason just to call and check up on them. You know, hey, just want to see how's your first year going? How's your first 6 weeks go? Where, however long you've been here. Reach out to them and just see how they're doing. And if they're not succeeding at a high level, then the conversation looks like, well, I've had a really different experience here at Keller Williams. And I think that you may find what you're looking for here. Could I have my coach reach out to you? Could I have my team leader reach out to you and maybe set up a time to talk to you about what life would look like at Keller Williams? That's it. Don't want you going over commission splits. Don't want you going over command and profit share. If you want to casually have those conversations, that's great, okay? But we want to make sure that they're getting all the information, they're getting the right information, and we've said it and done it hundreds of times. This might be your first time, and so we want to make sure you explain it the right way. Second way, talk to your co-opting agents, the agents that you're working with right now on deals or have worked a deal with in the past. Who was on the other side of the transaction? A really easy conversation to have is at the end of the deal is you call that agent and say, hey, listen, I just want to reach out to you and thank you. I really enjoyed working with you. Glad we were able to get this to closing table. I like the way that you do business. I actually think you would be a really good fit at Keller Williams. Are you open for me having my coach or my team leader reach out and having a conversation with you? That's it. Okay. And then all you have to do is, if they're open to it, let me know, let Stacy know, and we'll make that phone call. Give us the background, give us the information so it's easy for us to start that conversation. But it's just an introduction, okay? Because we spend our days making cold calls and talking to agents that aren't expecting our phone call. It's really nice and so much better of a conversation when they're looking for our call, they're expecting our call. So other things you can do to help you connect with and potentially build your profit share tree, get every agent that you interact with into your database. Okay, every agent, not just the ones that you were in a contract with, but you go show a listing and you thought that, well, add that agent to your database. Okay, you receive an offer from a client, put them, or from another agent, put that agent in your database. Okay, and potentially you may want to create a smart plan. Okay, you might not want to do a smart plan, but what you could do is, if you'll tag them, okay, then it makes it really easy for you to send out bulk invitations to trainings and events. Okay, and that might be a personal, not a bulk email that goes out. Maybe there's a handful that you really feel like should be at Keller Williams. You really want to make a phone call, send a text, send an email, that says, hey, there's a training coming up that I think you would find helpful or beneficial, or we've got an event going on. I'd love you to come participate, and make that introduction. Because what we find is that the conversion rate, most agents that are outside of Keller Williams that come and experience our training, experience our culture, experience our environment, make the decision that this is where they want to be. So all you have to do is just get them here, okay? And when you get them here, it makes it really easy for you to make an introduction to me or to Stacy or to Stuart. You finish up class, hey, while you're here, let me go introduce you to my team leader. Let me go introduce you to my coach, okay? And then we can work on those conversations on your behalf, okay? Become Facebook friends with all of the agents that you interact with, okay? And that is so that when Keller Williams has great news to share, like this last month, we were up 30% on our listings when the whole rest of the market, all of the National Association of Realtors, was only up 12%. Okay, those are the types of stories we want reaching every agent that's not with Keller Williams. I just shared one today. What was the one I shared today, Nina? Did you see it on Facebook? I put it up in the coaching group for you guys to share. But it's some more good news. Oh, I know what it was. We were named one of the 25 best places to work by CNBC, and we were the only real estate company to make that list. Okay, that's great news. Put that on your social media so that those agents that you're connected with, they start seeing Keller Williams over and over again. Here's what's going on. Here's where they're succeeding. They don't always get that from their brokers because their brokers aren't succeeding at that type of level. So that's all right. Okay. And then just invite them to meet with a coach or the team leader. If you meet another agent and you find out that maybe they're struggling in their business, okay? Me and Stacy and Stuart are all happy to coach them to have a business meeting and explore different strategies to help them grow their business without it being a recruiting meeting, okay? We're in the relationship business too. And the way we recruit a lot of our agents is we first build a relationship with them, teaching them how to think about business and how to build their business. So be happy to lean on us for that. You know, if you hear that another agent is struggling with their time management, if they're struggling with getting listings, you know, whatever the case may be, okay, say, hey, listen, you may want to get in a conversation with my coach. That's something he can probably help you with. Would you like me to make that introduction? No obligation, not a recruiting call, just there to help you and see if he can give you some strategies that are gonna help you grow, okay? And then leave it to me to take it from there. Is that easy? I think so, okay? What about with unlicensed agents, okay? Invite them to career day. Every month, a couple of times a month, we have a day that is, we call it career day. You'll see it on our calendar. And all it is a 45-minute presentation that this is what it means to be a real estate agent. Here's what a day in the life of being a real estate agent looks like. This is what it takes to be successful in real estate. And here's the process to get your license, okay? That's the main focus of it. We do talk a little bit about that once they get their license, we'd love to talk to them again about Keller Williams, and we kind of show them a few of the details to let them see the value that Keller Williams has. But go ahead and put those people, if they've expressed an interest, put them in your database and tag them, okay? Tag them for interested in real estate. Make up whatever name you want to for it. But then keep your eye on the calendar when it comes out every month, and send them a quick email and say, you know, hey, I'd love to invite you to one of our 2 career days this month. Here's the times. You know, come see. If they're already dead set, they know they want to get into real estate and they want to know where can they go to get their real estate license, go ahead and get them over to Atlanta Partners Real Estate School. Okay. And wrote the email address wrong. It's atlantapartnersrealestateschool.com, but get them sent over to that, atlantapartnersrealestateschool.com, and they can register for taking the class online, taking the class on Zoom, or taking the class in person. All those options are open to them. Okay. And then lastly, just invite them to sit down with me or Stacy or Stuart, and we'll be happy to have a conversation with them about what being a real estate agent might look like for them, and help them explore whether it's a good fit for them. All right, a couple other ideas, a couple places for you to plug in. If you want to get serious about profit share, there's a Facebook group called Profit Share Mastermind that shares lots of great recruiting strategies, lots of ways to start the conversation. They share lots of scripts. It's a really good place to plug in. One of the really cool things that they do in there is agents share every month what they made in profit share for the month. And it can be pretty exciting to see somebody got $3,000 this month, $8,000 this month in profit share. And they talk about it's their biggest check ever and what they're going to do with that check. Okay. And kind of leading the pack is Aaron Kaufman. Aaron Kaufman is a KW agent that treats growing his profit share tree like a business. That's his primary business. He spends more time working on building his profit share than he spends working on his business. Okay. He makes, I think his profit share last month was a little over $8,000. So he makes about $100,000 a year in profit share right now. But that $8,000 that he makes, he's not going to make that every month for the rest of his life. Okay. And I want to take you through a little bit of math here for just a second. So we're going to go back to the math exercise. I didn't get this in the slideshow. I want you guys to think about how powerful profit share is. Okay. So for me, last year, I made right at $5,000 in profit share. Okay. And I've got a long way to go to get to my goals. Okay. But that's $5,000 I'm probably going to make for the rest of my life every year. And hopefully it's going to be bigger in the future. But that's pretty stout. I want you guys to think about how much money would I have to have saved up and put in the bank in order to make $5,000 a year. I'm going to make the math real easy. If I were to invest $100,000 right now, at 5%, and in today's market is 5% a good return. Can I make that on my checking account? No. Can I make that on my savings account? No. Can I make that in the stock market? Hopefully. Okay. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on what month we look at it. Okay. But $100,000 in savings at 5% is $5,000 a year. Do you think it was easier for me to introduce a handful of people to Keller Williams or to save up $100,000 and put $100,000 in an account somewhere? Introduce. So guys, that's really powerful. I mean, think about it. Aaron Kaufman is making he's making $100,000 a year. So how much would he have to have in savings in order to generate $100,000? Okay. He'd have to have $2 million in the bank. He'd have to have $2 million saved up to generate what he's making in profit share right now. Okay. I don't know about you, but $2 million in savings, that seems like a pretty big mountain to climb. I hope to be there one day, but I'm not quite there yet. So I just tell you, this is a faster way to wealth building than a lot of other paths you may consider. Okay. And with that in mind, any questions I can answer?
What if, so I introduce someone and so now I'm getting a profit share from them and then my sponsor is getting a profit share from me. But what if I quit? Does my sponsor get profit share from,
that is
like
a
it
great
skips
question.
over and now they're number one?
It doesn't skip over. Okay, so if you leave and you're not vested, so let's say here we have your sponsor.
Okay.
Okay, and here's you,
Mhm.
and you bring somebody in.
Mhm.
Okay, and they bring somebody in. Well, if they quit, they slide up to you.
So then I'm their number one.
You're their number one.
I was number two, now I'm number one.
That's
Okay.
correct. Okay, everybody slides up, which a completely different scenario. But just to kind of throw it in there, EXP has a revenue share program that's very complex and very terrible. But in their case, with their model, just so you understand how awesome Keller Williams is, in the EXP model. So you have that scenario we're wondering about, and this person quits. Guess who takes their place?
EXP.
Yeah. So we want all of that profit share going back to our agents that helped us grow. Okay. So the last thing I'll add, just to make sure as you guys build your profit share tree, just know that you'll have to continue to pay that $25 one time a year in December just to maintain the management of the profit share. So take Kevin Cable. Do you think it's worth it to him to spend $25 every December to keep getting $15,000 a month? I don't think that's a hard decision. So, all right. Any more questions? All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for today. If you do have any more questions about this, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and we'll see you guys all very soon.